All right, we skipped ahead last time, and now we're at 8.2, estimating products. So we went backwards, but we learned an essential skill from last video. And if you didn't watch 8.3 for that video yet, make sure that you've done that or did whole group with me. Moving on in 3, 2, 1. Check your homework for 8.3 practice. Moving on in 3, 2, 1. All right, estimating products. How can you use compatible numbers? That's 2 keywords I'm going to look for. What do those mean during this lesson? To estimate products of fractions. Products are answers of a multiplication problem. So Sarah has 14 postcards that are each 3/8 foot wide. Estimate the width of these postcards placed side by side. So if we have 14 right next to each other, how wide is it going to be if each one's 3/8? So I see that we're going to multiply to find the width of the postcards, how far they are side by side. And so that's the visual you see on the bottom of the screen, what that means. So we're going to use a compatible whole number to estimate 3/8 times 14. What does that mean? Well, we know that we're going to write 3/8 times 14 over 1, same problem as this. And basically what we're going to ask ourselves, we know that from last lesson that we can cross-simplify here, but we want to cross-simplify the most because we're estimating and we want to do it as quick as possible. So we want to find another number up here that can be divided by 8 quickly. So 8 times 1 would be this. 8 times 2, we're going to estimate this 14 and we're going to make it into 16 because we're estimating it's going to be a close answer. When you do that, we could quickly do in our head, oh, I could simplify that to 1, I could divide that by 8, I could divide this by 8 and get 2, and so my answer would be 6 over 1, or 6. Such as what you will see here with the clue word of rhino. Whenever you see squiggly equal sign, it means about equal to. So I could also think 3/8, well, 1/8 times 16 is 2. I can easily simplify that. 16 would simplify to 2. This would simplify to 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So if I take 3 of those instead of just 1/8, if I take 3/8, it would be 3 times 2, and it would get 6. So the width of 14 postcards would be about 6 feet. These are very important words when we use them in estimating problems. Would be about. You don't say the width of 14 postcards is 6 feet because we estimated. Another way would be to use a compatible benchmark fraction to estimate 3/8 times 14. Which would mean that we're not specifically changing 14 to estimate, but we're going to change 3/8. So we're basically looking, 3/8 is on this number line here. 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3/8. Is it closer to 0? Is it closer to 1/2? Is it closer to 1? It's about 1/2. It's closest to 1/2. So we changed 3/8 times 14 to 1/2 times 14. Half of 14 is 7. So another acceptable answer would be the width of 14 postcards would be about 7 feet. You do not have vocab notes today. And here's example 1. So what these are is you treat this as number 1, and then behind here will be number 2. And we're specifically talking about how can you use a rounding to estimate products of fraction and mixed numbers. So I see mixed numbers here, whole numbers and fractions. We want to round to the nearest whole number. So 3 and 3/4, is that closer to 3 or 4? Well, I know that 2/4 is half, or 2 is half of 4, and it's higher than that, and even if it was 2/4, that would still round up to 4, so this is going to round to 4, and over here 14 and 1/2, half is the same as 0.5, so we're going to round that up as well, so we're rounding up to 4 and 15, 4 times 15 is 60, so it's about 60. Once you have that written in your notes, moving on to the second one. Estimate 5/6 times 3 and 7/8. We're thinking, well, I know that 3/6 would be half, 1/2, and it's higher than that, and even if it was 3/6, it would round to 1. So we're rounding 5/6 to 1, and 3 and 7/8 to 4, as 7/8 is close to 1. 1 times 4 is 4, so that's about 4. Moving on in 3, 2, 1. For these two numbers, try to estimate. Once again, try to look at 4. All right, what can I make this easily so that it could be divided by 4? This one, 9. Oh, what is close to 35 that I could divide by 9? Remember to try these first before you see the answer. And the answer for number 1 will come in 3, 2, 1. So we have 3/4 times 19. I know that I can change 19 to 20. And because 20 can be divided by 4. So we have 1 as we divide that by 4. Divide that by 4 and get 5. Multiply across, and I get 15. And for number 2, what is close to 35? That can be divided by 9. That would be 36. When I simplify, this would be 1 as I divide it by 9. Divide that by 9, I get 4. And multiplying across, I'd get 20. Moving on in 3, 2, 1. Here's your independent or partners practice. The answers for number 7 is coming in 3, 2, 1. I estimated 25 to 24 as it can be divided by 4. When I simplify and divide both of those by 4, I get 1. 6. And so my answer when I multiply across would be 6. The answer for 8 is coming in 3, 2, 1. 70 is close to 72. I can divide that by 8. So when I divide crossway by 8, I get 1. And when I divide 72 by 8, I get 9. Multiplying across, 9 times 5, I get 45. Answer for number 9 is coming in 3, 2, 1. There are 3 possible ways you could have done this problem, and the 3 options are shown below. You could have estimated 20 to 16. You could have estimated 20 to 24. You could have also estimated 3/8 as close to 1/2, and 1/2 of 20 is 10. Number 10 coming in 3, 2, 1. 5 and 5, 6. I'm going to estimate that to 6 times 8 and 1/9. That's closer to 8. My answer will be 48. Here are your options after watching this video. First, please do click on the link below for Khan Academy video and practice. After doing both of those, then make the choice whether you'd like to do Math Online Enrichment Book or make a math video of this lesson using Explain Everything and upload it. Make sure to upload it to Team Drive after you're done. Don't just leave it on your iPad. Thank you for watching this video, and you're awesome.